trauma with this guy, man, and the whole situation. And I just want to say, I think he needs a lot of prayer, and he needs mental health, like the things that we can relate to, you know?
Absolutely.
I think that's what's going to save him or help him. Nothing else. I don't think we should talk about him. I don't think we should make fun of him.
What just came out from Q on day 26 is shocking. And Diddy is truly awful, y'all. We've heard time and time again that everyone who dealt with Diddy went through something. The bad boy artist had it the worst because he controlled everything. But what Q revealed cracked open an entirely new layer of chaos, just when we thought we'd heard it all. According to Q, we're still only barely scratching the surface.
I kept trying to get in contact with him because all I wanted was an apology. All I kept saying, like, could you apologize? Like, could you just apologize for what I can't talk about right now? But I just wanted to apologize because something was wrong with me, man. Something was wrong. And like when your last Vlad interview, you could look at me and tell like something was wrong. Like I wasn't the enthused person. I wasn't cute. I looked like stressed. I looked like I was in a dark place. So like you could tell like something was wrong. Like
apparently, he woke up one morning to discover a tape of himself being circulated, one that was reportedly taken by Diddy. What made it even worse was that he couldn't remember anything about how or when it happened. The only thing he was certain of was that it couldn't have happened without Dawn Richard helping Diddy, allegedly in the name of paying her dues. So, what exactly is Q talking about?
Talk to Diddy?
Not as often as I'd like, but that's the homie forever.
Yeah.
Wouldn't know that Puff had bought me out of a contract prior to even getting on the show. Like it wasn't I chose Puff over my group at the time. It was more of when someone does that, where I come from, you got to respect that on a large level. So I gave loyalty to him. All his crazy, I look at things like that as loyalty. So I was loyal to him and I paid my dues back like a businesswoman should.
Right.
Until he said, okay, your dues are paid. And then I left.
If you've been following since the Cassie scandal that kicked things off in 2023, and then the RICO charges that exposed just how much the industry protected Sean Combs, then you already know the pattern. Diddy allegedly kept tapes and records on just about everyone who crossed paths with him, and that's how he maintained control and power. Most people believe those tapes came from Diddy's infamous freak-offs, assuming the people involved were complicit and simply didn't realize that every corner of his house was covered in cameras. But what if what Q is saying is true? What if that's not how it went down at all? According to Q, Diddy still managed to get something over him, even though he was extremely careful to protect his image. Quannell Mosley of Day 26 had always avoided speaking publicly about Diddy. And on the rare occasions when he did, he appeared visibly shaken, sometimes even breaking down in tears.
Understand. No, it's okay, bro. I understand why someone would sit down and think about hurting someone. I don't know. Or laugh about it after they do it, you know. Like, I don't get it. That's why I said none of them are innocent. I'm not here to expose anybody, but none of them are innocent, man. Like, none of them are innocent. Y'all all coming after this man for millions of dollars when y'all were a part of it as well.
Even earlier this year, when he appeared in an interview with the rest of his group, he seemed visibly shaken when asked whether anything had ever happened between him and Sean Combs. It wasn't until a separate interview with Audrey O'Day that he finally explained why talking about Diddy is so difficult for him and why the things he witnessed still haunt him. Back when Day 26 was active, Q began dating Dawn Richard, who was also signed to Bad Boy Records. They became the first known couple to come out of Bad Boy since Faith Evans and the Notorious B.I.G., and their relationship was so public that it turned into a major storyline on Making the Band Point one day. Dawn approached him and told him she had something new for him to try, a pill she said she'd gotten from Diddy. She showed him another pill meant for herself, giving him the impression that they were supposed to do something intimate together later. But after Q took the pill, everything went dark. When he came to, he found Diddy standing over him, surrounded by several other men who were laughing. He woke up screaming, his body reacting as if something had happened to him, yet he couldn't fully understand or explain what he was feeling or what had been done.
My ex at the time, which was Dawn, she gave me an ecstasy pill. And she says...
Is that what she said it was?
Yeah, she said it was ecstasy, and she said it was from Puff to give to me. And it was red. And I took it because I thought I was going to get freaky with my girlfriend. You know, we tried ecstasy before, and I trusted her that's what it was. He gave her 2 of them. I took mine. Within like 20 minutes, I knocked out and blacked out. I woke up in the twins' bedroom in the basement, and I woke up out of my sleep screaming very, very loud.
Who are the twins?
I don't know their names.
Are you talking about Diddy's daughters?
Twins, yeah. Diddy's twins, his girls. Yeah, I woke up in their bed to cameras filming me, and they were laughing as I woke up out of my sleep, screaming. And it felt like... I'm not gonna cry.
Okay.
Yeah, take your time. It's okay. It's understandable that you're reliving this and emotion comes with it. There's just no way around it. So
It felt very sacrificial. That's what I meant when I said, I felt like they were trying to hurt me, or Diddy was trying to maybe sacrifice me that night.
One commenter even tried to explain what Q may have experienced, writing, "The thing is, he wasn't asleep. He was awake the whole time. What felt like waking up was actually his consciousness returning to his body." And that interpretation makes sense, because it wasn't until Q began nudging Don Richard that he realized the pill wasn't a typical recreational drug. He later described it as feeling closer to a horse tranquilizer. What makes the situation even more disturbing is that Dawn never actually took the pill she claimed was for her. According to Q, she only pretended to take it to give him a false sense of safety. Once she saw that he had taken his, she spat hers out and signaled for Sean Combs to come in. Q said there were 2 red pills, yet she never took hers. That detail has haunted him ever since. He described the experience as feeling less like a shared moment and more like an experiment, as if he were a lab mouse being observed to see how quickly he would collapse. His trust had been manipulated and his vulnerability exploited. Afterward, Q began suffering severe psychological symptoms: auditory hallucinations, racing thoughts, intense paranoia, and overwhelming anxiety. His thinking became unclear, his memory started slipping, and he felt as though his mind had regressed. With the help of doctors and loved ones, he had to relearn basic functions. He says the pill broke him mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Importantly, Q wasn't speaking only about Diddy. He was also implying that Dawn may have been an accomplice. Not long after, Dawn released a statement denying the allegations, saying she had never drugged anyone or given anyone pills, calling the accusations categorically false. She argued that if Q truly believed she had done such things, it would make sense that he continued a relationship with her, introduced her to his family, or interacted with her socially afterward. But critics quickly pointed out the flaws in that logic, echoing the same rhetoric often used against survivors, including in the case involving Cassie Ventura. Dawn's statement essentially asked why he would stay if something harmful had happened, a question frequently used to discredit victims. What stood out to many was that Dawn referenced Q introducing her to his family after the alleged incident, despite Q never specifying when the incident occurred. That detail raised questions about how she could confidently frame his behavior as afterward. Shortly after the backlash, Dawn removed her statement. Instead, a former employee from Diddy's inner circle came forward to defend her, insisting Dawn was not lying and suggesting that Q was alone in his interpretation of events, further intensifying the controversy surrounding his claims.
So before I forget, Don Richard is not a liar. Don's not a liar. I was in LA for a lot of stuff that happened, and I was also in New York and the Hamptons, with Dawn and Day 26. So a lot of you know the trip where like after that Q lost his mind and he was never really the same. I was in the Hamptons. I actually forget how much that I was really around for. So yeah, Don Richard is not a liar, has never been a motherfucking liar. If you guys knew, okay, working for someone that weaponizes food and punishes people and not allowing them to eat or sleep and berating them and all of that, like, yeah.
It seems Q was more than ready to finally speak and release everything he'd been carrying for over 2 decades. When Jordan made her statement, he didn't argue with her or engage in back and forth. Instead, he dropped a short clip from the video he'd been referencing and let it speak for itself. According to Q, Jordan wasn't even present when the incident happened, So how could she know what took place unless someone else told her what to say? And the video appeared to back up Q's claims. He looked disoriented and confused in a way that didn't resemble someone simply waking up from sleep. He was visibly soaked, suggesting he had been under the influence of something extremely strong. Dawn Richard could also be seen in the clip, laughing and startling him, fully aware of her role in what had happened. For Q, waking up and slowly realizing he'd been manipulated must have been terrifying. Some viewers also noticed that just before the camera shifted away, Sean Combs appeared to reach for something off-camera. The camera moved abruptly, leading many to believe it was intentionally redirected to avoid capturing what might have happened next. That possibility alone has left people shaken and further intensified the seriousness of Q's claims.
So that's why I said I feel like he's in jail, and I'm not judging anybody because I think he needs prayer and help, but he's in jail because he's a danger to himself, first of all, and he's a danger to the world right now. And I think there's a lot of people that are scared that didn't come out in the beginning, that are very scared because it's a scary situation. It's not just him that could possibly hurt you. It's people around him that are still close to him that could hurt you, or it's just really deep, man.
Say what you want about Q from day 26, but when it comes to Sean Combs, his story has never changed. That consistency makes it hard to believe he's being disingenuous or exaggerating for clout. The internet clearly feels the same way, and many believe what he's saying is true. And if we're willing to believe Cassie Ventura, then Q deserves that same courtesy. Some people are quick to defend Dawn Richard while overlooking her own troubling behavior toward group members and others connected to her. At the same time, they once praised Diddy, only to later sue him. That inconsistency is impossible to ignore. I watched that day 26 interview, and 4 out of the 5 members were in tears because of what Q went through. Watching him speak, even without going into graphic detail, you can clearly see the pain, trauma, and long-lasting impact this has had on him. Q, I'm truly sorry you had to endure what you went through. No one deserves that. And as for Diddy, he deserves whatever consequences are coming his way. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think Dawn Richard is still a victim of Diddy? Or do you believe she may have been both a victim and an accomplice? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.celebsip.
Kiss Mark.